All right. So I want to thank everyone for being here. We are recording this as we do our outreach. Those of you that are watching this live, by all means, we welcome you to ask questions or comment along the way. Your comments or questions will help those that are going to watch this as we continue to do outreach. Our goal is to get everyone in before the end of March. But it's kind of like our small businesses. We try to encourage you to plan and have contingencies. Our contingency is that we will not have a maximum or maxed out conference, as we are trying to expand it this year. So we will most likely continue our outreach. We've got an SBA Contractors Corner scheduled in April. To get more of our advanced manufacturers. So those of you that are watching this recorded, hopefully those online today live will ask questions if we need it. That will make sense to you. At the end of the presentation, we have contact information for our Kansas team. We don't have it for your other state Sbdcs, so we didn't post it in here. So if you need one of the other folks from the other Sbdcs, if you need to ask, if you don't have their contact information, by all means, you can get a hold of me or Vicki, and we'll be glad to pass that on as well. But the PowerPoint will be available to you. So because there's going to be a couple of slides in here that's going to have a lot of information on it. That's on purpose, the way it is, not necessarily for presentation purposes for the PowerPoint, but more for you for notes later. And as we get to it, you'll see what I mean. With that in mind, I think we're ready to go. I want to thank everyone that is here. I see some folks we haven't seen in a while. So whenever I recognize somebody we haven't seen, there's a reason why I call them out. Not necessarily ignoring the others, but I see a few new faces in recent times. So glad to see you. And those of you that have been here all along, thank you for hanging in there and being with us. Let's see, I got to.
I got it in the waiting room.
Yeah, okay.
And
that's
great there.
Yeah, okay. All right, with that in mind, I think we've got everybody to where we can move forward. So basically, what I've tried to do with all the conversations I've had this week, and it's a crazy on-ramp as we're reaching out to advanced manufacturers and tech innovators, and then we've had conversations with Softworks, SOCOM. Oh my goodness. I obviously have failed to turn my phones off, so I'll try to do that as we move forward. When Rick starts talking in a minute, I'll try to turn the sound down. How's that? All right. So the one thing I guess what I want to encourage you to understand, and as we reveal this today, hopefully it'll make sense to you. So why participate? By joining, you become part of the solution. I am a big believer in the theory of reciprocity. Reciprocity is alive and well, even in some of the largest federal primes, and certainly in the ranks of small business. We were able to participate last Thursday in Wyoming PTAC, with Wyoming PTAC and Montana with the Northrop Grumman and their Star Alliance, as they revealed to us and all the small businesses that were online that day information about working with Northrop Grumman. And the way they presented and the information they shared with us is going to be presented to you in detail if you participate in the Encountering Innovation Conference. Excuse me. I will not steal their thunder today, but I will be glad to show some of the thunderheads and the clouds off in the distance. So I am going to reveal some information that hopefully will cause you to want to join Encountering Innovation. I can't tell you everything they said. for several reasons. One, I'll use COVID. I've had it twice, so I get to claim COVID fog twice. But the other reason is because there's too much information and detail in what they shared. So what I'll be doing is giving you some snippets of some information that you should pay particular attention to. Why encountering innovation? This year is an expansion of what we've done in the past, and we're continuing to grow the model, and it takes more and more people. Those of you that know me fairly well know I get pretty emotional this time of year, leading up to the conference and afterwards. It's a lot of work, and we care deeply for our small businesses. We really want to help you, but we can't be particularly specific to everyone. We just time out. So we're trying to do our best to give you good, detailed information to where you can step forward and participate, as well as network in a way that's effective for you. So the first thing we're talking about is in this quick topic overview is that we are growing the networking intentionally. There is natural. Rick has pushed us to make sure we have the natural networking opportunities that happen. So every day, including Sunday, before the event starts, we will be having opportunities for networking. So the coffee, the lunch, the evening events are all part of your natural networking. For those of you that are not natural at networking, and those of you, you know who you are, that you're more timid, we are doing things to make life better or easier and more effective for you. We're going to be sharing all the participants that share information in the capability matrix, and every one of you that's a tech transfer, tech innovator that chooses to participate in the matchmaking, you'll be a part of the capability matrix. There's a few. Last year we had less than 10% that chose not to participate in the matchmaking. That's fine. If you choose not to, then your information's not shared. If you choose to matchmake or participate, then your capability information will be shared. Your bluff, that's a public bluff, bottom line up front. And then your contact information, the title of your innovation, and then your capability statement, not the capability statement paper, but the capability portion that goes into the capability matrix. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's what training is for, and we will have more training. It's already online, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but it's also available live as we go through the Lunch and Learns on the road to encountering innovation. You're going to hear directly from primes, the large primes, just like what we're going to reveal a hint of today, you're going to get to hear specifically. And then also from our resource partners, including SBA, Wednesday afternoon will be an SBA day, and they've got folks coming from Washington, D.C. with important information, that some things that are changing that are benefiting small businesses, percentage of small business participation in federal contracts and things like that. Opportunity to present to the primes, to small businesses, and DoD Tech Scout. That's part of the intentional portion of our networking that we're offering to those of you that are a little more timid and not quite so bold in the networking. And that includes the list of all the participants and capabilities that will be shared to everyone. Why should a small business? This was, I captured this quote from Tracy German, and okay, Rick, you can see this live, so good. I didn't know if you were on the video or not, but she said something that I thought was very interesting when we started the webinar on Thursday of last week. She said, most of you will not have a contract with Northrop Grumman, and they had about 160, close to 200 folks on the line. And she said, most of you will not ever have a contract with Northrop Grumman. That's why we want you to get familiar with our Star Alliance partners, who you will be having more opportunities for contracts. I'm quoting her as best I can, but I'm giving her credit for it. You will see her. You should see her at the conference. Rick and I have met her. She's part of Diane Sterling's team at Northrop Grumman. And sorry for the overtype here, but who is STAR? What is STAR? It's a Strategic Teaming Alliance Roundtable that Northrop Grumman has developed as part of this $13.3 billion, 8.5-year contract that they've been waiting. I didn't know this. They've been waiting up to a decade for this contract to move forward. So it's very exciting for those of you that are like me that just showed up to the party and didn't realize they've been waiting that long. If you haven't been waiting on this, then the cool thing is we can get started right now. If you've been waiting, then you get to move forward. And just to give you an idea of some of the participants, Aerojet Rocketdyne, Bechtel, Boeing, Draper, General Dynamics, Honeywell, Textron. I thought I'd pick a few names to give you an idea of the 20 that Diane Sterling and Northrop is bringing to the party. This is a focus that Rick brought to us. Rick, I don't know if you want to speak to any of this or not. You might not can see it very well because you were probably on a small screen there. We have this information. You'll be able to get this in this PowerPoint. I was fearful that we weren't supposed to share it except for one-on-one with our clients. So I have spent this week emailing some of you that are online today because we used Bill to go through and look at your technology category and your technology title for us to make you with SBIR opportunities. If you didn't see an email, then this is a good list to be looking at to see if you match up. And this is from Northrop Grumman's focus. So they released this information through Diane Sterling to Rick to give you an idea that they are looking for technology innovators in certain categories that they want to partner up with in the way that you can in SBIR. We won't cover that today, specifically how that happens, but just to give you an idea of some of the opportunities there. Rick, anything you want to say with that?
No. Good afternoon, everybody. No, on this list that she's got here, and what was really interesting was in the past, whenever we've asked any of the large primes, they never give us the innovations, the new technologies that are being invented, if you will. There's never been a list of those before. This is the first time I've ever seen this. And this is really pretty cool. Now, of course, all the categories are fairly, they're fairly broad. You've got robotics. You've got, if I can read all these, the type's a little small, but you've got robotics and a lot of things like that, where you've got a general category. And specifically what they're looking for would take place in going up to the booth of one of these companies, or the Northrop Grumman booth that'll definitely be there, and try to get a little more detail on what they're actually looking at. Another thing that's sort of a first, not just for us, but even when I was at NASA, I never saw done, was reaching out to the primes and asking them, hey, what is it that you really want to see? And that way, if you find yourself in one of these lists, it's a good reason to come to the event. And we have reached out to, I think it's 4 others, in addition to this one. And I believe it's Honeywell has also given us their list of 7, which Alan will go ahead and, we'll get ahead and give the full list, including Honeywell's, to everybody. And that's really important because a lot of times, even for me at NASA, it was difficult to find out just what the primes were looking for. So I couldn't pass that along to the small businesses. And in this case, they are giving us that information. So
And that's,
I think that's great, because then we can pass it out to you and you can see whether it's even worth it. Is there a reason for me to spend time going to that? And most important thing is there something in it for me, or am I just going to go and meet people? And
there you
in
go.
this case, the advanced technologies are giving us right up front. And yes, there's a good reason. And if you don't catch the Northrop Grumman person who can, help define this or whatever, come up to Alan, myself. There'll be several of us, and I'm sure we'll have a nice name tag so you can identify us. Come up and ask us, and we'd be happy to try to see if there's a way to connect at the event.
Cool. Thanks,
Alan?
Rick.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So to Rick's point, I have been a little nervous or timid, and it comes from my Sbdc background. We don't share information, as you know, confidential information from our clients. Whenever you sign up with us, you sign a statement of understanding, gives us permission to share certain information for DoD Tech Scouts. And then on the matchmaking side, well, I tend to be the very same way when it comes to our, whether it's DoD Tech Scouts or it's our primes. So once we get permission, like in this case, we share it. So as we go forward and get more of that, we will push that out to you and give it to you as best we can to where you know as much as we do. We're not trying to hold back on anything, just trying to make sure we don't offend or cause pain to anyone.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah.
It's Bill. Do you want to explain just in a sentence or two about the Star Alliance and what Grumman is working on? Because I don't think you've said that yet. I think you're
okay. Yeah, so that's where I'm going next. So as an example, the Star Alliance, you go back to this page, there's 20 companies that we know of that they've given us, and that includes contact information that they have. What they're doing, they being Northrop Grumman, they're just like what they said here in this statement right off the bat, that most of you on that day won't end up with a contract, but you will be part of this ecosystem. What they're trying to do is help everyone understand that there's multiple places to get involved just in this singular contract that we're talking about. And these are just a few of the companies that I thought some of our audience would know. There was a list of 20. I think Diane said, so like I said, as we go forward, when she gives us express permission to reveal all the companies and the company contact information, we'll reveal that to you, because that's what we want you to have, is the easiest way to get hold of them. So we tend to be timid when it comes to specific individuals. So once we get that information, we get the information and we get the go ahead, we will reveal that information as we move forward. So the Star Alliance, and you will see, I'm just giving you, like I said, if you can imagine that thunderstorm off in the distance, a little bit of the cloud outline. I'm going to give you a little bit of the cloud outline of the Star Alliance. As we have more information to give you to where you can prepare and participate for the Encountering Innovation matchmaking, we want to do that as well. What I'm now picking are those that were on the Star Alliance seminar the other day, Aerojet Rocketdyne, and they are basically, the best I would say is they're kind of a similar carbon copy to Northrop Grumman at a different level. So this is one company that's really doing a lot of stuff that if you've never heard of them, go check them out. If you think you fit in the broad technologies within there and want to move forward, that was a good one. And we met their representative while they were on. Also, Bechtel. Bechtel is an engineering company that presented at this webinar, and so I thought I'd take one of their easy quotes. They're an engineering, construction, and project management company, and that they're working very closely with Northrop Grumman. Draper Lab. Draper was very interesting. They are, for those of you that are that know WSU or wherever you're at, your different universities. This was a company, a nonprofit organization that was birthed out of MIT. I think back in 1973. I don't have the date here in front of me. They're a nonprofit. They're an interesting one as well, with all that they're doing in technology and technology innovation. And they will be, I suspect they will be there and presenting as well. The example that they gave that I thought was, and now I'm stealing a little bit of the thunder, but I thought this was a good example for some of you to hear. They also said, they used the example of someone is going to need tires for their trucks that are driving around delivering and working on site at the projects that they're doing. And they said, so we're going to be buying tires. We're going to be buying oil. And then they said, and at the end of the day, they're going to have to get out of their trucks and they're going to be pretty exhausted. They're going to want a tall, cold glass of beer or water or tea. So just an idea of the breadth of this. And what they said, this is the part that I want you to get. And one of the reasons why I'm encouraging you to participate. They said, as we have needs, we're going to look on the people that are participating, the people that sign up with Northrop Grumman, that on board with them, and then the others the same way. Those that on board in this ecosystem are the ones we're going to be looking at to solve our needs as we go forward. And so if there's ever a reason to get involved and participate, that's a great reason. That multiplier effect of $13.3 billion is going to be alive and well throughout this process. So I think it's a good example of this. They talk about, and I don't know if I wrote it down, the GBSD. Rick, did I get the acronym right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
GB Global. Oh boy, I'm going blank. I know it's system deterrent. It's basically the old or the existing silos that are in Nebraska north and from Colorado north is what this contract is about. Part of what you will
I'll share that I think that's mostly led out of Utah, just so you know.
Oh, okay, Laurie, thank you. Yeah, I've got, I go back right quick. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Tracy German is out of Great Falls, Montana, but so that'll give you an idea. They're going to go through, and so I'm giving you just topics. This is where they spent a lot of their time talking about pre-marketing suggestions, things you need to do, marketing introductions, how you need to market yourself as you meet and work with them, how to respond to RFPs and RFQs, when to respond, what you do if you're not going to participate, what they want you to do, where you understand how to communicate with them very well. Then the subcontractor attributes, primary selection criteria, and then even at the end, they gave final tips from the Alliance, things you should know and things that you don't know until you've probably made that mistake. So some really good information that they're covering that they plan to bring to the conference that you'll get to see.
Alan, can I add something here?
Sure.
Yeah, they're looking at the next generation missile defense system. And this is actually come to get on their list and on their radar screen. I don't design rocket engines, so I guess I don't have a future. I mean, they're building missile silos. They're going to need comm systems. They're going to need all kinds of things, sensors. They're going to need fences put up, and even the simple examples. that if your technology fits somewhere into what might be needed, they want you to be on their list. And this is the time to get involved, because they can work with you and say, okay, you're not really ready for prime time to work with a defense contractor at this point, but here's what you need to do to be ready, so you can preliminarily get up to speed. So as this thing is taking root and moving forward, you can be on the ship that's moving forward.
Thanks, Bill. And another thing that I think, Bill, what you just said reminded me that I wanted to make sure to let you know. Diane Sterling, I think, is a really cool individual. And I don't know if she's going to hear this, because I'm going to say some things that she might not want me to have recorded. But I think, so this is my interpretation, she talked to us in a way to explain that part of what she does is she partners, in the rabbit ears point of view, she partners with those that are similar to her, even in other companies, just like this Star Alliance she's talking about. So her job is to reach out to small businesses in order for her company to be able to fit a federal contract requirement, the participation, which is what you're going to hear SBA talk about at the conference as well. As percentages of participation changes, that's her job, is to make sure that they have the right number and that they get their small business opportunities that they get on board. She shares that information and cooperates with others within that Star Alliance. She also does it within her own company. So just because, even with what Bill just said, if you hear this one particular contract, as big as it is, it's not the only part of their contract. This contract, from what I understand, with them talking to us when they first started, was this is a $100 billion 73-year contract that Northrop Grumman is a part of. So they are going to be sharing quality companies that qualify across Northrop Grumman, as well as other businesses within the Star Alliance. And then some of you online today are part of our target of the second, third, and fourth tier companies that David Shahady shared with us back in 2018 or 2019. He spoke to the DoD Tech Scouts, and he said, folks, he said, most of the tech transfer does not happen at the federal prime level. They're too busy handling their contract, making sure that they get their contract completed. So it happens at the second, third, and fourth tier companies. So those of you that are part of that already have a contract with Northrop Grumman, or you're trying to finalize a contract, hopefully Diane Sterling can be a part of assisting you. That's part of what we hope as the introductions, because we've heard from some of you that are already working on that. But you're the ones that we want you to participate in this program as well, because while you're busy working with Northrop Grumman or one of the other Star Alliances, you're also looking for technology innovation that can move your company forward, move your technology forward. Or for those of you that we've heard from that are talking from the advanced manufacturing point of view, you're looking for capability or capacity. So for some of you that go, I don't fit this, I've looked at that list, I don't fit any of that technology, or I don't fit any of the advanced manufacturing contracting right now. That doesn't mean you're not a part of the ecosystem. And that's why we want you to understand that this thing goes much further, much more broad and depth than what you see that even we're sharing, or that you'll even hear at the conference. So if you get involved now, you're a part of that ecosystem. And so you may be moving off to defense, to aerospace, or you may be moving into another direction, but you get involved and get connected. That's the type of thing that will happen from this conference, not just because it's the conference, but because the people that are coming. Think of Diane Sterling. I said this the other day. Diane, I said, She shows up for this conference. She's bringing her SBLO, Small Business Liaison Officer team with her. Let's assume none of you qualify. None of you stack up. You think she wants to go back home to Huntsville, Alabama and go, I got none? I dare say that'd be crazy. So she's going to bring back some of you, even if you didn't qualify, because she's got to make sure this thing matches. So you're part of, if you've ever seen the hockey stick, I didn't do that, but I don't know if you can see that or not. But in where they showed the demand of when something goes exponential, you're at the very beginning of this. She's going to be doing everything she can with her and her SBLO team to onboard you and get you started into this program because she needs you. So this is the best time to be a part of this participation.
Alan, if I can
Yeah.
add to just, when we were looking at that SBIR list, and there may be people on here that don't necessarily feel like they would qualify for the things on that list, but they're looking for a much broader list in their STAR program. They're looking for supporting companies to do all kinds of things like I was sharing before. So there's a lot of additional things besides just what you'd consider the high profile things. And they're trying to build a database with the depth to be able to support a whole variety of things. So this is a good time to get involved.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, and Alan, if I can add a couple things. When it comes to trying to get in with a large prime, that's always the toughest. And there's only so much help we can give you. But what Diane has been saying throughout this thing is that where a lot of opportunities are that you don't have to have as many qualifications is going to be in the first tier subcontracts or the second tier. And the first tier are the Bechtels and everything else under Northrop Grumman. And the burden is on them to find these small companies who are going to be able to manufacture or provide what they already, they've already been contracted to do as a subcontractor. And then you actually can go a layer below that. And in many cases, in fact, in all cases, it's easier to get into that lower level subcontracting phase because they don't have to have everything. They still have to have a lot of information, and there's a certain maturity that you have to have to be selected, but it's nowhere near as much. In fact, once you get to the second or third tier, what they're really looking for is the product. That's what they care about. And they'll guide you into some of the business things that you have to have. And that's pretty important. I also wanted to mention that it's not just connecting with these companies through our matchmaking. That's one way. We're also going to be talking, and hopefully in 2 weeks at this Lunch and Learn, I'm trying to bring the folks from the Connex and Manufacturers Marketplace, and it's a merger now. And they're a place that you want to get into their system because as Diane Sterling said, her company goes to that, and I don't know what the real name is now that they've merged. I'll just call it the Manufacturer Marketplace. They go there looking for companies all the time. So that's a good one to get into. And we can talk a little bit about that in a couple of weeks. And the one good thing about that, and the reason they like it, Boeing uses it, Lockheed uses it, a lot of them use it, and a lot of the second level subcontracting folks use it all the time, is that when you apply and get into that system, they vet you. They will go and find out what contracts you have, how good you are, they will gather the information that someone like a Bechtel or a Lockheed wants to see if they're going to select somebody. And they want that vetting done. They don't have the resources to vet everybody. So we're going to kind of guide you through that. There's a couple of ways that actually organizations like an Sbdc, and I believe NASA at Marshall has paid, I think the fee is like $2,500, something like that. And if they pay that fee, they get, sorry, somebody's walking next to me. If they pay the fee, then all their clients can actually be on that system, and it doesn't cost anything. And I believe the only thing that comes out of that is if you get a contract through them, somebody has reached out to you through them, then I believe the fee is 1% of the contract value. So that's another very good way to connect. And whether we can help guide you into, one of the small businesses that's subcontracting to a Northrop Grumman, or a Northrop Grumman, or this particular database, which apparently is being really used a lot now. If you come, that's what we want to guide you through and help you connect to, because that's how you're gonna connect with folks to get business. The other last thing is, and Diane, I was just talking to her this morning, and one of the things she's going to talk about is mentor protege. And a lot of people want to become a mentor protege. And the bottom line with mentor proteges, whether it's an SPA or a NASA one, is once you get that agreement, the organization, and let's say that Lockheed took you as a mentor protege, they have to give you work. Now, Diane is going to talk about, okay, that's all well and good, but your business maturity is going to have to really be there before we would ever consider you as a mentor protege. In fact, she said as far as what she did at Boeing, I think she said they had three companies, and that was it. And she said, everyone wants to be a mentor protege, but here's what it takes to get there. And it's not impossible, but it's there's a lot of business maturity, because the first thing they do is do a needs assessment. To even qualify, you're going to have to be somebody that they want to be associated with as a subcontractor. That means you've got multiple contracts over the last 3 to 5 years. They also create an agreement with you where, yes, you get business, but you have to bring about 70% of the arrangement is technical. You have the technical expertise, you have the classifications and the, and the certifications, et cetera. 30% becomes the business part. They're going to be giving you a, they're going to give you a contract, a subcontract, but they will work with you on increasing some of your business maturity. But the bottom line, and she stresses this, is if you're not someone we would want to have as a mentor protege, or as a subcontractor, then there's no way that the mentor, we're going to bring you in as a mentor protege. You're someone that we want to associate with because you can help us get business. And she really stressed that. So part of that is when she talks at the event, she's going to be talking about what are the things we look for in the mentor protege. And mentor proteges, by the way, are really great because they last 3 years. And companies that have done it have said, we have done really well. We're getting contracts with other people. But to get there, you have to do certain things. And she's going to stress that. So what I'm really saying is that there's a lot of ways that the SBDC in Kansas at this event are trying to give you and help connect you to companies. And, you know, I just gave you about 3 or 4, and Alan and Bill have been talking about several others. So that's what we're really trying to make this EI event. It's a way that we can help you connect. You can connect through the different networking and everything. It's not just a place where you're going to hear the, you know, the governor speak or other important people speak. You're actually going to be able to connect with people that's going to help you long term. And now I'm off my high horse there, Alan. So back to you. Any questions or anything on it from any of us, for any of us?
So yeah, while you folks are, I'm checking the chat and I don't see anything. One of the things I wanted to make sure to do was talk about our next steps to where you understand what we're doing and how to go about it. So if you go to encounteringinnovation.com, what I did today was I broke my rule of what I tried to do, and that is I try not to use PowerPoint. I try to use our website for what we're doing, and to where our toolbox is always live, and we're improving it through Chris and Randy and the Pittsburgh team with the SBDC down there. They do a great job working with us. Our Kansas SBDC website is also on the next page, I think, yeah, here, where we show you the we're continuing training live through the Lunch and Learns to second and fourth Fridays, as well as we've captured all the Lunch and Learns that we can record, and we're putting those online. So some of you that want to fast track now, that you're going, I want to know it all right now, you can go to kansassbdc.net/tech, and you can find all the information on the quad chart information paper, the stuff that Bill's done, and you can find all the stuff on capability matrix and capability statement. You can also go to your PTAC. That's what PTAC, one of the things they do so well. Our PTAC partners help you with registration information, questions that you have. They help you look for contracts beyond what we're talking about just here. And then we have these videos available. You can, but to get signed up, you've got to go to Encountering Innovation. If you're new to Kansas SBDC, then you click on the link there where it says to register. You complete the intake survey. This is the beginning of a collaborative process. I keep saying that. It's not a judgment process. If you don't have a good answer or you're confused, you're not sure, write what you need to, answer the questions. Bill and Rick are the first ones that will be responding to your intake. If you have a tech coach, your business advisor that you're working with from another state, let us know who that is. We will pass the information from your intake. We give you back on the tech transfer side, your quad chart, your information paper as a rough draft for you to edit. On the matchmaking side, you'll get the capability matrix information, and Rick will be engaging you along with your business advisor to perfect it. If there's challenges or questions in tech category, manufacturing category, whatever it is. If you're an existing client, we have to share the link with you because you've already signed, you're already a client of ours. All we need to do is get that link to you. If you're, every once in a while, we have someone that goes in new, and then for some reason they time out, they exit before they're finished. If that happens to you, you just let us know. Vicki and her information is in this slide deck. Then we will reshare the link with you as an existing client. So it's not a challenge. It may take you a few extra minutes because something happened. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen some. Sorry about that. And then here's the contact information for our folks with the tech team. Rick, we've got his contact information, Bill's, Vicki's, and mine. and then email them if you need to call them. They can get you their phone numbers as well. Like I said, we've got various states on today. I noticed Oklahoma, Wyoming. I don't know if I saw anybody from Texas today. So there's a few of you. Get in touch with your different SBDC team to help as well. We're all working towards the same type of thing. We want to help our small businesses. Small is up to 500 employees in different categories. So most of I think in Kansas, it's somewhere close to 98% of all of our businesses are classified as small. So even some of our second, third tier companies that are going to be part of the target that we're trying to get connecting across the small business spectrum are considered small, and they wouldn't think of themselves, and you wouldn't think of them as small. So you can be pretty big and still considered small as far as the way the SBA classifies it. So we're hoping to help you. And I think, and then I've got Johnson County. I wanted to say hi to Jessica. Our host is online with us today. If she's still, there we go. We put the information to remind you this is a hybrid event. It's an in-person event. Some of you have asked me or Bill or Rick, what does that look like? And what I can tell you is the most common denominator here, just like with Northrop Grumman, they're going to be bringing their small business team live. That's what she's planning. And then, so her point of contacts, if you will. And then she's planning on, from the matchmaking side, the sooner you get involved, the sooner we get your information to them, then they're going to be using that capability matrix to engage their buyers and their engineers. So depending on who you are, if in that matchmaking session it makes sense, then virtually you'll most likely see an engineer or a buyer involved with them. Don't know about the other Star Alliance folks at this point. That's part of what we're trying to do as well, is see who's coming on from the other from the other primes as well. For you, what we're hearing with the small businesses, some are planning to, their main point of contact is coming, their engineer or whoever they want to come as secondary, then there's a good chance that their second or third person may join in the virtual part of this in the matchmaking session or on the DoD tech side. Our tech, DoD tech scouts, we will see some of the folks that if you've been here before, Tim Fowler, most likely Dave Rios, and those are IACs, which forgive me, but I'm just saying it for now because I know we're almost out of time. They work across all the combatant commands, as well as Space Force, NASA, and others. So those are the ones that are the key tech scouts to be here. Then there will be individual for different spectrum or different fields and agencies. With that, I want to, and I know Rick doesn't even know this because he's planning the April 8th one. April 8th is going to be SoftWorks is going to participate in our Lunch and Learn. So we will be getting you some information. Bill's heading up the technology categories with that, but they will be coming, not Lisa. Lisa's been here before. Laurie Moncrieff remembers her. Lisa Sanders, but Leslie Babish is going to be heading up the team with SoftWorks. I think they do a fantastic job working with very specifically on onboarding and trying to assist businesses through SBIR and into a new guy that's new to me. Not with them, but he's working very hard to go from phase 1 to phase 2 very quickly, and from phase 2 into phase 3 with SBIR. So I hope you come to listen to it. And then for those of you that match well with SOCOM, then be a good opportunity to see what they're doing. So there's some other tech scouts that are going to be part of this on the DoD tech side. Any
Ellen?
questions about, yeah,
We have a question. How do they find out or more about the Star Alliance program?
well, that's a great question. Come to the Encountering Innovation. That's where they're going to be talking about the Star Alliance. If you have specific questions, we would appreciate those. You can send them to us, and then we will pass those on through Rick. We'll be passing those on to Diane Sterling and her team to where she can be preparing. As much as we can reveal to get you onboarded and to match, we want to do that. But a lot of that is going to be detailed information that they're going to be sharing at the conference starting June 6th and being there throughout the conference. So your best bet is to be there. I'm not trying to sell conference tickets. I'm just telling you she's going to be there with her team. Tracy and Rob Watson are also planning to be there. So she's bringing a full team of folks to help with the Northrop Grumman side. And then we're hoping she's going to do a good job bringing in several of the other Star Alliance folks as well. I think there's some information online. So what we will do is follow up with all of you. If you want to know more about Star Alliance, let us know, and we'll get that information that we know that's out there. We'll get back and get that to you. Any other questions? Any questions about the conference or the conference location while Jessica's here? Let's see. Where can I find information on how to prepare for the June Encountering Innovation meeting? Sample, presentation, chart, packs, typical bluff. Good question. All of that, I'm going to stop sharing this, my PowerPoint, if I can, and I will try to see if I can pull over to our website. So I think I got to stop share first. So I've got to find it, don't I? There we go. All right. So give me a second and I'll pull that. I'll be able to find that because I've got that up for you.
While you're doing that, Alan,
Yeah.
just as an piece of information, we are also, Bill and I primarily are working with Wichita State University Strategic Initiatives Department on our Midwest Air Force Collider event. It's a pitch event with the opportunity to pitch your technologies to Air Force personnel. That event is going to be on May 4th, and the deadline to apply is March 29th. I'm going to put a link in the chat box to apply. So if you're interested in that, you can go to that link or you can contact Bill or I. And right now, the Air Force bases that we have confirmed to date for participating are Scott Air Force Base, Whiteman, and McConnell. And Bill, if you've got anything you want to add, you can.
I would just add, for those of you that are working on SBIR proposals or maybe like an open topic, Air Force SBIR Phase 1, this is a good way to find out where you might go to get a memorandum of understanding, an MOU. That's one of the ways that they can help at that level within the Air Force. So you need to keep that in mind.
Okay, so what I've got the information. I see some questions on pricing. Jessica, do you have the prices where people can see that yet?
That should be available on the Encountering Innovation website next week.
Okay, great. Thank you. Do you have anything you want to share? Anything that I've missed or that you think should be said? Okay. Not trying to put you on. Okay. Just wanting to make sure, because it takes a team, especially around me. Okay, I do want to recognize, I see we have several of our folks that have participated as far back as 2017. Glad to see you here today. I'm going to pull up our Encountering Innovation website if I can find there we go. I got so much open here. There we go. Okay, so question on training. And so here's, when you go to encounteringinnovation.com, they've made it very easy. Encountering Innovation, registration, and payment. Open now. You click, you're going to go into our Encountering Innovation Center. This is like if you went inside our store, if you walked into it, this is where you'd go. And so from this, we talk about the conference. So detail, I'm not going to cover right now. And then registration. We will add the link here. I do believe we had it last year. So as soon as the link is live with Johnson County, we will go back in here and add that at this location to make it easy for you to see. So that information is all here. If you're an existing client, we remind you to go back to EI admin. That goes to Vicki, and then she'll send you the link. Not the big a deal. And then if you're new, you click there and you go into the demographic questions. Who are you? What are you? That kind of stuff. And then go right into the intake survey. If you accidentally fall out, get hold of Vicki, and then she'll get you back in. So pretty simple stuff there.
Alan, I think we may also, Jessica had sent some information out, but I think we may also have a link on the very front page to the conference registration to make the payment for actually participating in and paying for the event on the front page here. Maybe easier to see.
Oh, we're going to add it here, you mean?
Yeah, I think this
Okay.
may be split into two different links potentially.
Right. I think we did that last year, and I agree.
Yeah.
So Chris is on to Chris Pennington to help us as we watch this. So basically, the intake portion, what we're trying to say, we try to make it fairly simple. There's basically two parts. The registration is getting your information into us. Bill and Rick try to do a very good job of helping you understand your connectivity, the value there. And then what I keep calling it the soft cost, the cost at Johnson County in order to put the conference on, not to pay for us, just the conference portion, then that's incurred with the host. And so the host has a registration for you. So there's a price there. And so she's saying that should be up for you this next week. Roughly speaking, we're somewhere around $250 and that range. So if those of you that are brand new going, is it $5,000? I've had people ask that. No, we're not even close to that. This is not your average conference where there's huge cost, and I'm not knocking them, but what we're trying to do, we're not a conference platform. We are a program to help commercialize is what we do. We use the conference to bring the national customers in, and then we work with you to help you connect with them. Okay, so that's basically what this is about. For the question of training, you see up at the top, each of these buttons will bring information to you. So if you didn't realize that's what that was, that's what that is. So you look at that and then you pull down and you can see like pitch practice. There'll be information about pitch sessions. You want to do tech transfer. That's the DoD side of this. Click on tech transfer and information about applying and details here. Application preview. You can actually see the questions that are in the Q&A that we do the survey. If it pops up, is that it? That's.
Yes.
Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry. So then each question goes down through here, and so I'm not going to let you see it all detailed right now because we're running out of time, but that's on there. We also have, if I can get back to it, and the training includes videos. So to the person that was asking about the quad chart or initial, from the general overview, the quad chart, the bluffs, information paper, all of that has been done. Bill has a video of each of those. We will go forward in the lunch and learns as we need to and do stuff live week by week going into this. But all of that information and the supporting documents are right here for you. So you can fast track right through all of this. You've got to get I would highly recommend you apply first. We're going to send you your quad chart, your information paper, your rough draft back to you. Then go over here and start looking at this and moving forward. Don't make it harder than you need to. There's no reason to. You don't get extra points for that. So make it easy on yourself.
Can I add into that, Alan?
Sure.
Bill and I are in the process now of processing the applications for both the tech transfer and the matchmaking portions of the event. As Alan indicated, we'll be preparing based on your application, those draft documents. And I believe we'll get those out to you next week. And any emails will come from EI admin@ksbdc.net. That's my email address. Sometimes they may go to your junk mail and not your inbox. So if you haven't received anything, please check your junk mail. If not there, let me know. But we'll be getting those initial draft documents out with more detailed information on deadlines and that next week.
Thank you, Vicki. Same information or similar information is available on the matchmaking side. We've got videos. We mentioned more of NASA at the beginning of this from NASA with our Marshall. Is that right? Did I say that right, Rick? Marshall, that was with us last year. That information going down through their capability matrix, all that information is here, the videos, to where you can see what you need on that side as well. Once again, we're talking about that. We'll go through that as we go through the lunch and learns coming up.